So we learned about provide inject in the last lectures. And it is a very powerful tool built into Vue. It's very useful for letting components communicate. It's important for you to keep in mind that you can only communicate between parent and child components or child components of other child components, so that you can't use it to communicate between neighbors or anything like that, as I explained and showed over the last lectures. But here's also one other important thing. You should not always use provide inject to replace props and custom events. Indeed, props and custom events should be your default communication mechanism. You might consider using provide inject though, if you find yourself having some pass-through components as we had it here. Knowledge base was just a component passing through props and passing through the emitted event. In such cases, using provide inject can save you some unnecessary code and can make your code base a bit leaner. You could also argue that it makes your code a bit harder to understand though, because if I look at this code, I see that I got two provided values here in app.vue, but then I have to dig into all the components to understand where those values are being used. This is absolutely doable in this app, since it's not a complex app, but it is something that can be cumbersome in bigger apps. So use it wisely. And if you have a lot of pass-through components, definitely use it. If you have just one pass-through component, you might still be fine with using props and custom events, even though you have some redundant code though. But that is up to you and ultimately comes down to your personal preferences. With provide inject and props and custom events, you got all the core tools though which you need to let components communicate with each other.